Yeah, good evening, everyone. So, last session we learnt about how to use AJAX requests. So, we learnt about JavaScript AJAX methods in React. In that, one concept already I explained you is about how to use XML HTTP request. So, in our previous class, we designed one small interface by accessing the data coming from a JSON file. And to get the data from JSON file and present in the UI, we are using XML HTTP request. Already I explained this in our previous example. So in this example, I showed you this example we designed. Yeah. Anyone still any doubts are there? So last session I showed you this concept. Yes, that area. Still you are not into class. Huh? So this example I explained how to get the data from JSON file and present the data, but for that we are using which technique? XML HTTP request, right? So XML HTTP request, the complete process I showed you. So in this public folder, we created a JSON file called product.json. This is the JSON file we are having. How to present this data in our component? We created a component called Flipkart, and there we designed a method load data, and this load data is accessing the data and storing in a product object, and we are presenting in the UI. For that, we used JavaScript XML HTTP request object. In general JavaScript, directly this object is used in browser to make an AJAX request. But XML HTTP request object, as I given already in syntax, it is very lengthy, complex. What are problems in XML HTTP? Let's see. Already I showed how this works. Now we need to understand here issues with the XML HTTP request. What are the issues with XML HTTP request? What problems you will face while working with XML HTTP is some major problems. First point, it is synchronous by default. You have to make it asynchronous explicitly. What is problem in XML HTTP is it is a synchronous method. What is synchronous method? Synchronous method means whenever it is processing your request, all other actions are blocked. It will not allow any another action to perform. That is problem with synchronous. And we have to manually make it asynchronous. That's the reason in last session when we return, we have to put last asynchronous as what? True. This is the file and asynchronous is true. We need to explicitly make asynchronous. Another problem is, so it returns response in a text format. Always the response will come in text format. Then what you have to do? It requires explicit conversions. You need to convert the data and you have to use the data. So when response comes, response is always in text format. We have to convert that into our required format. Suppose you are using JSON, then you have to convert into JSON. So that actually we done here. The response comes response text. We have to convert into what? JSON. Another problem is actually it is not good in error handling. It is not good in error handling. So it cannot track and report the problems correctly. So it is not good in error handling. Not only that, it is not safe as it have issues with it has issues with excess RF coarse excesses. Excess RF coarse and excesses. Generally, these you learn in server side technologies. So cross site request forgery. In short, it is called XSRF. Cross origin resource sharing. It is called CORS. Cross site scripting attacks. That is in short called XSS. These are all technical problems that you will face while working with web applications, which your server side technologies will teach you. Java, .NET, PHP, Express.js, Node.js, they will teach you what they are and how they are managed. So XML, HTTP have all these problems. These are all the issues with XML, HTTP. That is the reason in your JavaScript, you can use another technique for interacting and creating AJAX request. What you learned, the second one, in JavaScript, you have an alternative for this, and that is fetch. JavaScript have fetch API. Actually, it is a promise. I will detailedly give that. So majority people who learn JavaScript, they know these two techniques, how to use XML HTTP. Another one, how to use fetch. How fetch is better. That means how here. You can come here. So how the fetch is better than XML HTTP? What are the concepts is? See, what you learnt in JavaScript about fetch is, so fetch is a promise based function. What is advantage is it is async by default. It is asynchronous by default. It is asynchronous by default. It uses XML HTTP request object implicitly. That means internally it uses it. So it is better in error handling. It is better in error handling. So when compared to XML HTTP, it is better. In JavaScript, you will learn two techniques of directly using XML HTTP, another one using fetch. But what is again the problem with fetch? It is little better and simple. How it actually works is syntactically. Fetch uses an URL. It uses then is a callback function which will get a response. Catch is a callback function that records error. Detail I will give you. Finally is a function that returns always. So XML HTTP request directly when we use, it's a lengthy process. Last session I showed you the stages. First step, we have to configure the request. First you create object, configure the request, send the request, execute the request, get the response, convert the response and store. Lengthy process. But here it is easy. So I will show you how it is going to work. Let's see. I will replace this code now. In load data, XML HTTP I am deleting. So product is currently empty now. And you see the output refresh, it is empty. There is nothing. Now we need to bring the data from a JSON and we have to use. So what we are doing now, we are using fetch. Fetch from where? URL. It is product dot what? JSON. Dot then uses a function which will get a response. But here again some problems are there. What are issues with the fetch is? It is little simple, but fetch will return always response in binary form. Generally XML HTTP will return in a text. This will return everything in binary format. Everything, any request you make to any file, it will come in a binary. So what we have to do is we have to return this response into which format? JSON. Convert to JSON. After that, another then function can collect this function can collect this product, whatever data is coming, and we can set this product into this set product. Na? Set product is equal to what it is product. That's it. This is more simple when compared to directly using XML. Last session I showed you XML, HTTP, so many stages are there. But here it is simple. Now you see automatically it gets the data and it will display the data. Presentation is same, no change. Only the logic of reading is important. Already last session I showed you how to connect, how to access and use it. Presentation and all I explained. This is the last session continuation. We are just removing XML HTTP and we are using a better one. What is the better one? Fetch. Mostly JavaScript people use this fetch technique. Actually, JavaScript have two techniques. One is directly XML HTTP, another one fetch. But React people are not satisfied with this fetch also. It's working. But we are not satisfied with this. Why? Because what are problems with fetch is? Fetch is a direct DOM method. That means React is not using virtual DOM technique. It is using an actual DOM technique. That means again performance issue will come. Because what is the specialty of React? It works with an virtual DOM. But this fetch method belongs to actual DOM. You are directly using an actual DOM method, then it is obviously again slow. Not only that, what is another problem you saw? What are the issues? Let's see. Here, issues with fetch. What are the issues with fetch generally in JavaScript? What are the problems we are having with fetch? The first important problem, it is a DOM method. So it is not good directly for virtual DOM. It is not good directly for virtual DOM. Another problem is it returns every response in binary format. So explicit conversions are required. Explicit conversions are required. You have to convert everything explicitly. Problem is binary conversions can be blocked by firewalls. Binary conversions can be blocked by firewalls. That means your data may be blocked by browsers. Browser may block your data. Because converting anything from binary to a native format, the browsers will think that is not good, safe data. It is treated as some suspicious data. Firewalls will block the data. So it is not very good in security. Like CORS, XSRF, XSS. So it is not very good in security. Better in error handling, but it is not very great in error handling. When compared to XML, HTTP, it is better, but not very good in error handling. Tracking the problems, reporting the problems is not so simple and easy. That is the reason React people are not very much satisfied with these exact techniques of JavaScript. However, in many projects they use them, but it is not much recommended to have a better performance. So you will see many times React people using fetch, but it's not very safe. It's not very good for modern applications. So React people have another technique for this. What is that? Let's see. So I will give example for this one. So one example, this is an example of Flipkart. This I given in our last session with XML HTTP. Same example, presentation is not changing. Only the logic for fetching is changing. Previously we used XML, now we are using fetch. But this is also not good. So let's see what is better for React. So here we need to understand React third party libraries for handling AJAX. React third party libraries for handling AJAX requests. So if anyone asks internally, is React having any solution for this? Is no. We have to depend on third parties. So actually, React can use various third party libraries for handling AJAX requests. We have some third party libraries like Axios. We have like what WG fetch. We can also use jQuery AJAX, but it is related to jQuery native. So there are so many third parties for connecting and accessing data from any backend APIs. But most popular used by React people is Axios. The most popular is Axios. So in React.js, we can use this library Axios for connecting with data, accessing and using it. Now, what is specialty? What are the key features of this Axios when compared to fetch as well as XML HTTP? Let's see the key points here is first important you should know that it uses XML HTTP request. Means finally any AJAX have to use XML HTTP request. But what is specialty here is it is a virtual DOM method. It virtual DOM library. So it is a promise based library. Promise based library means it is async by default. It is asynchronous by default. Not only that, what is speciality of Axios is it returns data in native format. It returns data in native format. So explicit conversions not required. You don't need to convert the data. If you are connecting with JSON, it will return directly JSON. If you are connecting with a XML, it will directly return XML. So conversions not required. Fetch will return in binary form. XML HTTP returns in text. But this will return exactly in the same format how data is. So external conversions not required. So it is good in error handling. It is good in error handling. It is good in security, like CORS, XS, RF, XSS. It is good in security. Another important special about this React Axios is it can cancel requests. That is one great feature. Generally, AJAX request cannot be cancelled. Once an AJAX request is triggered, you cannot cancel. You have to let it happen. For example, you might have seen in any website, when you are paying some money, you click the pay button, then it is not your control anymore. You can't even cancel it. You know that, na? Because AJAX request cannot be cancelled. They cannot be cancelled. You have to just wait until it finishes. You can't do anything. Once the request is sent, you can't control it. You can't even cancel it. That's the reason websites will tell you don't push refresh, don't push back. Why? Because AJAX request cannot be cancelled. But Axios says we can cancel. That's good. Another important is it can handle multiple requests simultaneously at the same time. It can handle multiple requests simultaneously at the same time. At a time, you can request multiple. Generally, you can request only one at a time, but it can have a request in the form of an array so that you can have multiple requests at a time. These are all the key features of library called what? Axis. Remember, hundreds of thousands of libraries are present, but all are not great and good. They have some problems. Our developers use the better options available on internet. Sometimes we use paid one. These are actually free. We have some paid libraries also. Later I will show you them. We can use those paid libraries and implement them. But see here, to know the libraries and all, you have a website, npmjs.com. This is official website of Node Package Manager. For any web technology, when you are learning any web technology, you can visit this website. This will provide you information about all libraries that you use in projects. Which library, for which purpose, how to use that library. All libraries that we use, their professional information is present in this website, because this is the Node package manager which is used to install those libraries in our project. You visit this website npmjs.com and you see here we are searching for which one it is, Axios, and let's search for Axios. It will show like Axios 1,000 plus packages are there like Axios. They are used for AJAX requests. So many are there. And see, exact matching is Axios. Na? When I select this Axios, it will show you the complete information. Why you need to keep in touch with this website? Because every new version they may change. That means after few months when you are trying the same, some changes may happen. So before you implement in your project, first you have to come here and check what is the latest version and are there any changes in that version. If you install latest version and you use the old methods, it may go wrong. You need to keep in touch. Technologies like React, Angular, Vue, all this problem is lifelong a developer is learner. So that means lifelong you have to learn. And every time it is not same, it is keep on changing. You need to keep on exploring with the new concepts. So recently you saw na, so what officially the person who developed AI, artificial intelligence, he told about AI, Sam Altman, right? Sam Altman, na? He is the genius brain behind AI, right? He introduced the concept of all these AI tools. Actually, what he said recently is what people were afraid of. Many people are afraid. That means they asked him question in a CNN interview. They asked him a question that will AI replace humans? Right? Then do you know what he answered? He said that AI will not replace humans. Humans will be replaced with humans who don't know AI. Understood? Huh? That means humans will be replaced with humans. Who will be replaced? The humans who don't know AI, they are replaced with humans who know AI. It's not AI will replace human, right? That means AI is not going to make you lose your job. You will lose your job if you don't know AI. Understood? Huh? That's what he said officially. That is actually true because AI will not replace humans. AI will replace humans with humans who don't know AI. Understood the point? So that means here so many libraries will be keep on updating for you. If you don't keep in touch, you will be replaced. That means React, Angular, all these technologies, the problem is every few months new versions will come. If you are not in touch with those versions, you will be kicked out. You need to keep on updating yourself. That is the major issue. So you need to keep in touch with this website. So you will see here all the details. See the features what they mentioned. So all information is present. We don't need all that. See the key features what they mention. It is an XML HTTP na. So directly or indirectly everybody have to use which object? XML HTTP. And it is a promise based na. That means it is all asynchronous and automatically data is converted, transformations will happen. Another point is it can handle JSON and see protection from these problems, cross-site request forgery and all. Actually, they have mentioned canceling request. Yes, canceling request is also there. They haven't mentioned about multiple requests. Actually, it is one great feature of that. They haven't mentioned it, but it is one good feature of it. That means you can create a request which can handle multiple at a time. At a time, it can get information from two different sources, which is not possible in other AJAX methods. So these are all some important features. You should know what are the features, what changes they are making. Because when they release, actually, this is recently updated. You can see 2 months ago now. So if it is just few days ago, that means they might have made some changes. Some new things they may added. You have to check them carefully. Without knowing that if you try the old one that you have learned today, so that will sometimes may not work. You should be aware of that. So how simple it is and how it can access, I will show you. Let's see now how to use this Axios. We will remove this fetch now. Am I right? And you see, again, it is currently empty. I removed fetch. We have to use Axios. For that, first you have to install Axios. What is the first step here? Install Axios for your project. npm install Axios and save. You have to install Axios. Next important, you have to import Axios into component. So you have to import Axios from Axios. So you have to just configure Axios requests. And Axios have so many requests. Axios.get, Axios.post, Axios.put, Axios.patch, Axios.delete. All these are important methods. So get is for fetching, post is for saving, put is for modifying, updating, and delete for deleting. So later we will use post, put, patch, delete like methods. Initially we need which method? Get. So syntactically how it uses is, so Axios.get URL dot then, it's a function. On success it will get what? Response. Clarity wise I will give. What is the response specialty here is, response can return data, status, status code. So many details it can return. Catch function will catch the error if there is an error. And finally execute always. These are all promise based methods. Every promise based method will have a then, catch, and finally. So that functions related document is ready. I will post today. I told you JavaScript functions concept, you need to be perfect to handle React like concepts. And all the functions topic one document is designed that I will share with you today. Right? So that in that you will find functions related topics. All detail about functions in JavaScript, because these are all JavaScript function topics only. promises, callbacks, and all these things. Let's see how it works now. Just first step, what we have to do, npm install, what is it? Axios and save. We are installing Axios, fine. Now we have to import Axios. Import Axios from Axios. In the load data, we have to create Axios.get. Get from which location? JSON. Dot then we have to get what? Response. Simply set product. Into that we have to set response dot data. That's it. This is more simple. Earlier in fetch, you have to convert the data into JSON. Then you have to catch the data. But here, response directly returns the data in which format? JSON. If you are dealing with JSON, it will return JSON. This response is not just data, it is having status. Status codes means OK, 200 means OK, 404 means not found. It will have a clarity on what is the problem and it can report the problem. And you see now, once we done this and we are presenting, and you can see the data is same. This time we are not using fetch. We are using what? Axios. In future, everywhere we will use this Axios. That means in future, everywhere we will work with this Axios. Wherever when we have to connect with some API, get the data and use it, we have to, we will see that, right? So this is another example. And see here, actually I'm not writing catch, but observe here, dot catch. Catch is a function. It will get an error and we can report the error. So console.log, what is it? Error. If there is any error. What is the purpose of finally? Finally executes always na? On exception or without exception. That means here I will put as request end. Am I right? And you can see actually in the console, it is going to display that. This is console. You can see it is going to fetch request end. Suppose there is a problem. Okay, so here I use some wrong file name, products.json. And you see now, if there is a wrong name, it will catch the problem. And you can see it is catching undefined properties. What is it? Rate. It is unable to get that. Suppose here you are getting the status. That means you want to get the status. You see console.log. We can use response dot. You can have a status also. Understood? Status means it will just return a number. If it is successful, then it will clearly get the data and show you. And what is the request is what? 200. 200 means okay na. 404 not found, 200 okay, it will show the request. That is the reason it is little better when compared to error handling in fetch. But remember, it is not completely suitable every situation. In every situation, that's the reason some companies, they don't show interest in using Axios. They buy libraries and use them because these free libraries are having some issues. At large scale, it is a problem. At smaller, no problem. That's the reason companies buy from people like you see Telerik. This is Telerik. And see Telerik, see the customers of Telerik. Microsoft is a customer of Telerik. IBM, Fox, Samsung, NASA is a customer of Telerik. That means Microsoft itself is a software development company. They have their own softwares. Na? then why they buy software from these people? So not software, they are buying code from these people. That means they are buying code from these people and they are asking their developers to use that code. Why? They can ask their developers to build it, because every company cannot involve in everything because it's so much time consuming. For example, I will tell you one simple point. Suppose we have a car like Audi, BMW, Benz, am I right? Do you know the car company like BMW or Audi or Benz, in their car they use a audio system from other companies. Am I right? So you are wearing glasses and you know that frame belongs to one company, lens belongs to another company. Have you ever asked the frame company, why don't you manufacture lens also? Car company, after all, they are manufacturing Benz like car. They can't manufacture, after all, two boxes of speakers. Huh? They can, but they don't want to involve in everything because already they are busy with their business. Then if somebody is doing good at doing it, let him do. We will just bring from him and we will use. For example, you know, this React belongs to which company? Facebook, Metana. JavaScript is from ECMA. They use TypeScript as a language which is from Microsoft, right? Angular belongs to Google. They use a TypeScript language which belongs to Microsoft. Why can't they build their own languages? They can build, but it is waste of time because already something is good in it. Let it do. We will just use it. That is the reason we don't ask our developers to build everything. We ask our developers to use existing. That will save a lot of time, right? Technically, we can buy also, but for medium scale projects, up to medium scale projects, Axios is good, very good. We can use it. But at large scale, some issues will come. Then they have to buy and use the paid services. Few features and options will be changing. So for React, everywhere the most preferred option, third party, is what? Axios, right? I will give one example here. This is same example, same Flipkart.jsx, but this time I am using inside this Axios. Remember, only this function code was changing, na? Rest of presentation is changed. Same presentation. And as of now, we are presenting here, you can see, as of now, we are presenting simple data. Let's see little bit complex data. That means this is simple. One object we are fetching and we are presenting. Let's see little bit more complex data how to present. Let's create one data. Observe, I showed you here. Suppose we have Inox movies. Okay, let's go to this Inox movies. This is movie related some data, na? Right? It is movie related some data. Okay, I want to present this type of data. That means this data we want to present. These are actually called as what? Cards. Remember, every website majority will have these cards type. For example, you see nareshit.com, then you see the courses related details are present in the form of cards only. Amazon and all these people will have everything in card style, na? These are all cards like data. Now let's see how to present these type of cards. That means one small example, I will show you how to present these kind of cards. Let's take one example of Inox here. Inox movies, okay. I want to present this as cards. See what we will do. First we need these images, na? I will copy these images. Yeah, I am copying these images. This is one name. This is just poster. That is one poster. I'm taking screenshots of this. This is second, and this is third, and four. 4, 5, something, whatever you have. Yeah. Let's copy these 4 images. I copied these 4 images, and I will capture them, copy into our project location. Let's open our project public folder. Into public folder, open in Explorer, and public, here paste. I will just give reasonably names here. I will rename this. This is M1, that is movie 1. So you can give any name. This is M2 and M3, like this. Okay, M4. So M4, fine. Now we will prepare data for this. Let's see that how to prepare data for this. In the public, I will create a new file, movies.what.json. Because now we have to deal with a collection. You know how to manage a collection. Collection is an array. So we will give an array and array of objects. Right? We will maintain array of objects. In every object you see here. So this is the movie name. Am I right? Okay. So I will copy. Every movie have a title. And title, I will paste that. Every movie have a poster. Poster is some m1 dot what png. I have a png here. Suppose every movie have a language. Language is some Hindi, like this. Right? So here we have some certificate, something like this. So here we have some certificate, what they given A. Okay, now this is copy, and I will paste another one. The second movie name, I will copy this one, Ikkis. Right. And this is M2, and this is some Hindi. This is also U by A13 plus, right? Okay. Like this, we define UA 13 plus. Fine. Now we will add another one. So another object. And here we will change another movie name. Sponge. Okay. And this is M3. And this is English. Okay. 7 plus. Fine. One more, the last one we will keep here. I will copy the fourth one. Fine. That is the last. The housemaid. Yeah. I will copy this M4. This is the name, and this is A. Okay. Now we need to present this in our React component. Let's see. We will add a component called inox. I will add a page inox.jsx. And here I am giving export function inox, and it will return a simple div. So here I am displaying some bootstrap container fluid, and padding is 3. Fine. In the header roughly I will just put a heading, some inox movies. Okay. I will put it in the startup, remove clip art and use as what? Inox. And in the output it is going to display like this. Just roughly I added it. Now in this I will keep class text center and font weight as bold and font size 4. Okay, this is little large. Below the header, I have a section. Here I want to display all the movies like cards. Margin top I am giving. Here I want to display all movies. Okay, now first we need to collect the data. Constant movies is equal to what it is? Set movies is equal to use state. You are expecting an array of object, na? Right, and every object have a title. String must be defined as null. Another one, poster. Poster must be defined as null. It is also a string. Yes. Another one is what else we are having? Language and certificate. Make sure that all are lowercase only. Better. Everywhere. You have to follow the same rule everywhere. So language and certificate. Okay. Now here we have another one. Language is null and certificate. It is also null because all are string type. Yes. Then we will create a function load movies. And these should load on mount. What is it? Use effect. This is the mount phase you have to create. On mount phase, we have to call load movies. Now, here, see, how to load the movies is a simple process. This time we have to use Axios is already imported here. Axios dot which method? Get from which place? Movies dot what? JSON dot what? Then on success we get response data must be added into set movies. What is it? Response dot data. So all movies are ready now. Now we want to present the movies here, na? So how to read? Movies dot what? Map, because it is an arena. So we need to read every movie from there. That means we have to read every movie. Okay. After that, for every movie, I need to design a card. So then I am using a div. In a div, we will need a key. I will give the movie title as key. Am I right? So, and this will behave like a card. Margin 2, padding 2. This is actually bootstrap card. And see, every card will have a, above, I will use a poster, img. Image. What is the image source? Image source is coming from where? It is coming from movie dot what? Poster. So I will put class name as card image top, and I will keep height of image as some 200. Fine. After that, in the card have 3 sections. I will put card header. In the card header, I want to display the title. That means movie dot what? Title. You want card header little bit text center and font weight as bold. You can apply them. After the card header, it will have a class card body. In the card body, I am giving here, yeah. In the card body, I am defining. So what is it? So we are defining other details. Other details, data list, data term. This is what? Language. Data definition. How to display language? Movie dot what? Language. Another one is certificate. So certificate. So, and we have to get the certificate. Movie dot what? Certificate. Okay. And after that, every card will have a card footer. Card footer. In the card footer, I am defining here. So here I will put a button, and this button will have a class btn primary, and or warning something. And here we will put a text called book ticket. and I will give W100. And for every card, we will put some width, and I will put W25, that is the width of the card. And observe carefully, all these cards are in the section. I will use flex row. Then that is display flex row. Then all cards have to display like this here. Now we have one more point here. What is that? Data is not coming and displaying here. Why? Because the file name has some problem. So let's check in the request. It is there. All the data is coming in this way. Understood? That means we are fetching the data and we are displaying. I created just like a card style. So posters depending on your requirement, right? So suppose this poster have a book button copied also, na? Actually, Inox movies. So better this will not have that. I will copy this again. And I will go to, just for the sake of clarity, it is always it is giving book button. So it might have some copyrights. Huh? So the book button is coming always for it. Fine, no problem. Separately, you can copy that image and you can use it. Huh? So, but you can see here, this is the cards we are having. And what is the point is, suppose we are adding one more movie into the list. So let's do here. Suppose we are adding one more movie into the list. Suppose one more movie we will add. So I will add one more movie into this. I will copy this. Okay. Let's go to the project. And you see, I'm copying this and put in our project folder. Huh? In the project folder, open this public folder and paste it. In the public, we are pasting it, and we will change this as rename. You can give any name. Suppose I give M5. Huh? And now let's go to our data. In the data movies.json, we will add one more movie name to the list. I will copy this. Another we are using. So avatar. So fire and ash. Okay. And this is M5. And this is English and something. So I'm giving you some 15 plus. Okay. And you can see automatically in our presentation that's need to be added into it. Huh? That means it is going to add that into the list. Dynamically, when you are updating the data, automatically it will reflect. So we created a simple data of fetching and handling from JSON. But actually, we don't use directly like this. We kept in a file. Actually, we give it from the original APIs. Original APIs means we have their official websites. Online APIs will be there. We have to fetch data from them and we have to use the data, right? Technically, this example I will copy. In this example, what we are doing, too important, in public, we have a file called what? Movies.json. I temporarily copied this movies.json. And we have another one. In components, you have to use Inox. So in that I have inox.what.jsx. I'm copying this Inox JSX. And here we are using which method? Axios. Now, if you can do this, then we will go with some real-time data. Now, remember, this is just an example of fetching the data and presenting. We have to design all interactions like filtering, sorting, searching, everything we need to implement. We will take some real-time APIs and work with them. So in the next level, we will do that. Okay, na? This is enough for today because it looks small session, but you have learned so many things here. You need a practice. Huh? You need to try this. If you can do this, then next session we will continue with more complex data. Okay, right. Boys, wait.